Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host Evan Teague. With me, like always, is my friend from a galaxy far, far away, Noah Bailey. And
Like 5 minutes
the
away. That's fine.
the final Star Wars trailer, as they're calling it, has come out.
Woo!
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, there's
Uh,
because they're
go.
never gonna make another Star Wars movie,
They
right?
keep saying it's not the final Episode 9 trailer. It's the final Star Wars trailer, which that's not no like. There's gonna
It's
be at
not
least
true.
one more of these. At least one more.
But I mean, when you say it like that, it does make you feel like you have to go see it
Yeah,
because you already were anyway. But now you're like
and like
extra gonna
it
see
is
it.
the last of this Skywalker saga of 9 movies, but
Is it though?
I don't.
Because they kind of built it up like, oh, this is totally different, and now they're trying to bring it back like, oh no, this is all still part of it, and I'm like. Uh,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like one. We're gonna get into the trailer in just a second, but one kind of issue I've had with this new trilogy, like I've loved each individual movie so far, but one kind of issue I've had with the trilogy so far is that I know they're trying to say it's like the epic conclusion to the Skywalker saga, and yes, Ben Solo is technically of that lineage, but something about it just doesn't really feel like this is the conclusion that the trash that is episode 1, regardless, it's still set up like, was to come. Doesn't really feel like the conclusion that that movie was kind of leading into, nor does it really feel like what probably should have happened after episode 6. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and like I don't. Yeah, I kind of feel. And like for me, it just I don't know because like they've been trying to like I kind of said that like they've been trying to like pass it on as oh it's all connected, but like it really does not feel
No.
connected at all. And they're just shoehorning in characters to make you think, oh yeah, this totally is Nexus. I'm like, these guys are just kind of guest characters. They're not. It's more like cameos than like
Yeah.
integral to the story.
I don't. I almost maybe would have been more fine with it if they did just go all in on this being, Ray's trilogy. Have her be a
Yeah,
Skywalker or not, I don't care. But like, have this just be, this is Ray's story. Like other Star Wars characters can pop in, but like this is Ray's story. But since they're pushing it as like the end of the Skywalker saga, and like especially Episode 9, which we'll get to the like I said we'll get to the trailer in just a second, but like every single aspect of that trailer is like leaning so heavily on nostalgia, just feels to cheapen the past 2 movies a little bit. But I don't know. You gotta get that sense.
yeah,
Also, just the
yeah,
fact that
and
like Episode 6, because Episode 7 exists, what happened in Episode 6 doesn't really seem to feel like it matters anymore. Because
yeah, which is
they're still
annoying.
called stormtroopers. The Empire is still essentially there with the New Order. It wasn't like, oh, they made Starkiller Base, destroyed the Senate, and then the New Order rose up. It was the New Order was already established. Rebels were already, or the Resistance was already like a minority in the galaxy, and then they destroyed the Senate. It's I don't know. The
Yeah,
They could have structured it a little better to kind of make it feel like in Episode 6 the Empire was defeated, and then something during Episode 7 caused the Empire to basically have a resurgence. I think that would have been a little better, but whatever. It's whatever.
yeah, and that's one of my that's been like my most like thing that kind of because like I know they like I know it's annoying because it feels like I'm watching off-brand Star Wars because it's like oh these aren't the rebels, this is the resistance, this isn't the Empire, this is the First
They're the
Order. Yeah, like
stormtroopers, but they have
oh that
slightly different helmets. It's like okay,
I know that like every well my thing the thing for me that's annoying is they're different, but everyone still flies in the same ships. The Rebels, the
yes,
Resistance, or whatever still
yes.
has X-wings. They still have TIE fighters. They still fly Star Destroyers. It's pretty much the same thing as the Death Star. It's just bigger. Like it's pretty much
Yeah, like
like it doesn't. Nothing's really changed except his lightsaber points out a little bit. Like that's
yes,
pretty
like
much the only
the
difference.
prequels are not good, but at least they were creative with the ship designs, with character designs, with just the overall worlds that they went to. And I get it. Episode 7, J.J. Abrams, for whatever reason, decided I'm gonna make a Star Wars movie, and just in doing so, he remade Episode 4, which is fine. Other movies have sequels that are essentially just redos of the first one and whatever. It's fine. But when you have this legacy of already 6 movies, and this is the big resurgence, I was hoping for a little more creativity, not just X wings versus Tie fighters. At least have them have, I don't know, at least change up the designs a little bit. Like have them have like 8 wings and have the Tie fighters be like triangles or something.
Just change it up a little. Like I don't know. It's like the people that were designing the stuff and the people that were writing the stuff were not at all the same. Because like they're trying to make this whole like, oh, everything's changed. The galaxy's totally different. But like if you didn't tell me things that were different, I would just think
Yeah,
it's just a continuation.
if you didn't
Because
tell
it
me it took
all
place
looks
30 years after, it would kind of feel like
it
the
would
same
just look
thing.
like some other dude with a red lightsaber took over where the Emperor left off, and we were
Yeah.
just keep still going. Like it doesn't even
Mm,
like nothing really
yeah.
looks like it's changed, and I guess
Like
that's always bothered me.
in a vacuum, I really really like Episode 7, and even more so Episode 8. Screw you haters. But yeah, just something feels, yeah, something just feels a little off when you put it in the whole big picture. All that being said, I love this trailer. What do you think?
It's hype. I was more excited for the last. I think I was more excited for the last trailer for this movie,
The teaser
but
or
I
like
think
the
this one.
original trailer?
I think
The
the
teaser with
original
the
trailer.
red staff saber, or the original
No,
one?
it was the trailer. It was the actual original
Okay.
trailer. Because like the teaser, I wasn't really, yeah, but not because this one. I don't know, because this one, like I love Star Wars music,
Hmm.
but like this song they chose isn't like a get hype song for me.
It was
Like
for me.
this one,
Like the fact that
what?
it kind of was for me, because essentially with this song it was like a rendition, it was like a newer rendition of the like more like the Star Wars song, and just the way it like
Right.
build and build at the very end, it literally gave me goosebumps. Like I just um
I,
I will say that
like,
something that a lot of people have been mentioning is that there wasn't a big like oh my goodness moment like with Palpatine coming back, or with the
mm,
Dark Ray from the teaser. There wasn't any big
mm,
moment like that. Although I personally didn't feel like it needed one. I don't think we needed to see Palpatine or Luke. I think keeping them in the dark is fine.
okay.
Yep. Um, I will say that another kind of rounding off our previous discussion, one kind of issue I've had with Episode 7 specifically, and to a lesser extent 8, but more so 7, is that Episode 7 legitimately feels to me like a Star Trek movie just with lightsabers. And that's not trying to, dock Star Trek or anything, but it was directed by J.J. Abrams, who made the recent Star Trek movie. So it just the feel of it, it looks and feels like a Star Trek movie. The way it's
Mm-hmm.
shot, the way it's edited, just the way things are just kind of glossy and smooth. Episode 8 kind of made it grittier a little bit, and which the director changed, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And just something that I've just always loved about the original trilogy is that all 3 of those movies feel so uniquely Star Wars. I could probably show you a still image of any one of those movies, and you can recognize it as Star Wars just by how it's shot, just how it's designed and everything. And Rogue One even also kind of has that same feel. I I can't put my finger on exactly what has changed about episode 9, but in this trailer, I felt that again. I felt that this movie is like has that Star Warsy feel again, which I
Okay.
really appreciate.
Okay. Yeah, I am excited to see it because there were some. There's still like some like new like environments and things
Mm,
seen that we haven't really. Because like when they're like either like it's raining or like covered in water or whatever, and then Kylo like comes through the water with his lightsaber, he's all wet and everything. I thought
yeah.
that was interesting because we've never really seen that.
Mm. Like
And like just like
I have a feeling in that shot, like at some point, Ray had like somehow like pushed him off of the bridge and like and you think he's gone or something, and she goes walking in, and then he turns around, he's back. It's like nope, I'm not gonna
that
kill
would
that
be
easily.
that would be so sick. You think he's gone, there's the whole thing, and he just
Yeah,
like
like
not just like just
because like
genuinely just mad.
because half of Star Wars villains die by falling, so like
This is
so
true.
because
This is
Palpatine and
really
Darth
true.
Maul. I feel like there's one
Yeah.
other that well, I mean, Boba Fett. Like half the people
I mean,
die by
that's not as
falling
much
into it.
falling as getting eaten, though.
Yeah, yeah. So like you kind of feel like the fight gets to a climax, and then she like knocks him off, and then she thinks she's home free, and then
It's
nope,
like the
he's back.
big, like, heroic music comes
Yeah.
in, like, wow, I am a Jedi. He's like,
Mm.
how many times? He's like, you think? He's like, how many times we gotta teach you this lesson, old man?
Yeah. And
Oh, man.
yeah, just all of the unique environment, like that forest again, it it feels like the forest looked in Endor, just in HD. Like I can't or Forest
Mhm.
Moon of Endor, like
Yeah,
I can't really explain what exactly it
it's
is, but
just
it just
Endor, we know.
just the shot of the forest with raised blue lightsaber just looked gorgeous, and I loved it.
Yeah, it really did look like Endor. I'm like, maybe back in my head, I was like, maybe it is Endor. Like, it really
It's
looked like it.
possible. I mean, it would make sense that
Yeah.
the second Death Star would fall. The remains of that would fall either on the Forest Moon of Endor or like in one of the stars, or like in one of the planets in that
Mhm.
system. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Back to the
Um,
scene of the crime.
there was this one shot that really confused my roommate. Like, it shows like this big ice structure, and at first glance, it looks like the Tie Fighters are flying in, and it looks like it's like an icy mountain that's reflecting off of water at night. But then, upon further inspection, we noticed that the Tie Fighters, some of them were kind of lowered down, and they would probably be in the water at that point. Do you think that's like an ice planet or like a big asteroid? Because that's also like the ice
Ah,
that uh, that the Star Destroyer rises out of, which we assume Palpatine was
yeah,
either in
that's
or
what I'm
controlled
thinking.
somehow.
That's what I'm thinking. Ice planet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, gosh, that is cool. It's so cool.
And
Just looking at the
just
shot.
all of those ships lined up against all those Star Destroyers, like
Mhm.
there are just gonna be so many epic beats in this movie. I'm just like
Dude,
it.
it's like those moments you just like sit back and you're just like, oh, here we like. I love those moments in a Star Wars movie when like everyone's lined up and you just sit back and you're just like,
Yeah.
here we go. Like, like you look next to you, like, most of us aren't gonna make it, like in the theater.
Mm-hmm. Most of
It's
us
been
in
a
the theater
pleasure
aren't
flying
gonna
with you,
make it.
gentlemen. Yeah.
Mm.
It's like it's been a pleasure flying with you guys. Like, oh man,
Mm.
absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and I don't know what's happening with C-3PO in this movie. Like in the last trailer, he had red eyes, and this one, he's dying or something.
I don't
What's
know.
happening with him?
I don't know. It's one last look. And I'm like, man, when you say it like that, it makes it sound like we're all gonna die, not just you. Like,
Fun fact:
whoa, man.
in the background of that shot, when he says that, there's a battle droid in the background, which
Hmm.
I'm hoping that they don't they don't. have too many like heavy influences from episode one or through three in this,
Mm-hmm.
but like little callbacks like that, I am more than fine with. Like these are still part of
No,
the
that's
universe.
right.
Like in episode seven where they mention the clones, like episode
Right.
eight where Luke mentioned that Palpatine rose like beneath the
Right.
Jedi's noses and they did nothing about it. Like little hints like that, I'm fine with. And even like a battle droid
Yeah.
background, like they would be around. There were
Right.
millions of these things.
Right. Because it is history. So like
Yeah.
these things, yeah, and there were billions of those things. So yeah, like it makes sense that you would just, oh, there's a battle droid.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, but as long as it's not like super like referencey, like, oh look, there's General Grievous and his old, and oh look, there's all these other prequel things.
Jar
You're
Jar
just
lived
like,
for some reason.
oh my, no, no. If Jar Jar is in this movie for one iota of a second, it's a failure. No questions asked.
Just walking out.
Yep. You're saying, nope, not doing it. Gets up. We're 15 minutes in. I said
We're not
I'm
doing it.
not doing it.
It, we've only seen two shots of Lando in this movie so far, but just both shots have been him
He
laughing at
looks,
that just flying the Millennium Falcon again. And it's just
he looks so happy.
he looks so happy.
Just like that is how I would look if I was flying the Millennium Falcon. Now I'd probably be scared, but still.
Yeah, I am just I'm very very excited for this movie. Like I I know the first part of the podcast we kind of bagged on the first two movies a bit, but like I really do think that this movie it definitely has a chance has a great opportunity to link in all three of this trilogy together, which if it does just that I am fine with. But if it
Mhm.
does somehow like actually tie in all nine movies like it's saying it is, perfect.
They can make it work, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of don't want them to. I kind of want this just to be its own thing. Because, like, it just seems so far from everything else, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, in some ways it does, but in some ways, like, in the ways that it feels the same, it
Mm.
doesn't. But in terms of how hard they've been trying to make it seem different, with,
Yeah,
like,
and
oh, new names.
that's kind of
That's why it's hard.
that's kind of part of the issue I have with different directors
Hmm.
making a series of movies like this. Like it can work. Like the original trilogy, the first one was George Lucas, and the next two are other people, and he barely touched episode five at all, and that's the best one. but, um, but in this scenario, like especially since Abrams wanted to make the most Star Warsiest Star Wars movie ever with episode seven, which like I said is fine, but then he also added in all this other stuff that like was setting up a sequel that Ryan Johnson didn't care about because like which I don't care about. I still don't care about Snoke, so I'm fine with him killing him off. I don't need any more explanation. I don't want Palpatine to be like, "Oh yes, I was actually Snoke the whole time." No, he's dead. Just leave it at that. Don't even mention him.
So messed up. Fans raged.
Another issue is the fact that these movies have taken place 2 years apart instead of the usual three. So there's
Mm.
less time to get fan feedback, less time to like really collaborate with the previous writers and directors and like really get a full story because George Lucas essentially had the entirety of episode one through six ready by the time episode five was out. Like originally it was just supposed to be Star Wars, and then when he started
Mhm.
making the sequel, he had like the entire story essentially already planned out. So if they had gone, I kind of wish they had gone into this with the idea of okay, here's episode seven, eight, and nine. Here's the basics of what's going to happen in these movies. I have a feeling they just kind of wrote them as they went, which
Yeah.
didn't really benefit them. But
No, especially with different people calling the shots each time. Like
yeah,
you said, like that kind of throws it off in
I
terms
also
of
really
just
wish
like
that Ryan Johnson
consistency.
and Abrams co-directed this one because it's so weird that it went Abrams, Johnson, and then Abrams again. I know it originally had Colin Trevorrow, and thank goodness he's not doing it because Jurassic World movies are actually kind of meh. So, uh, but I kind of wish that Johnson and Abrams had at least collaborate in some way to just round it all out. But I think Abrams will do a fine enough job.
It'll be alright.
Yeah.
See, we're still gonna go see it regardless.
Oh yeah.
So.
Like, even if this trailer was bad somehow, I'd still see it. Like,
Yeah, it's Star Wars, dude. I can't not go see it. And like, even the fans that are mad, they're still gonna go see it.
Yeah.
Like, if you miss Star Wars, that's just general conversation.
Like, it's one thing to skip Solo because it was Solo, but
right.
But this is an episode.
Which I still have not
like
seen.
This is it. Like the last one. You know, in heavy quotations.
It's not.
Especially since they've already scheduled Star Wars story movies. I think as early as 2022, and then like every 2 or 3 years after that. So that'll be more. Now, time to play another round of it made how much this time? Star Wars movies.
Of course.
So I'm only gonna do episode 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, or 7, 8, and then like a couple of the spin-off ones because 4, 5, and 6, because they were made so long ago, inflation is it's just kind of hard to track exactly how much.
It's weird.
Like it's just they made a lot of money, like but that's because I think the original Star Wars, if adjusted for inflation, is like top 5 highest grossing movie of all time.
Oh.
Somehow.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did not.
It's insane. Apparently 70s money was very valuable back then.
Yeah. I mean, it is Star Wars though, so that makes sense.
But it wasn't Star Wars when Episode 4 came out.
Oh, yeah, but like it did well.
Yeah.
I don't know. And like you said, it's what, 77 when the first one came out? So like yeah, that's been a hot minute.
Yeah. Which it's actually crazy just how much the like Star Wars existing changed cinema. Like for example, before Star Wars, the vast majority of movies had the opening credits or in the opening and then another set of credits at the very end. But because Star Wars had the opening crawl happen, they had all the credits saved for the end. And since people had a very positive response to that, basically every movie since then has had just the credits at the end, which I think is better.
I also think it's better.
Yeah.
Also, we wouldn't have end credit scenes if they didn't, which
True.
that's like a Marvel kind of. Did Marvel start that, or was that already a thing? Or they made it more popular, I guess.
Yeah, they made it more popular. There were other movies that did it. I feel like one of the X-Men movies was actually the first superhero movie to do it. And like it actually means something. Maybe it was X2? I could just be completely wrong about that, but regardless, Marvel, yeah, like Iron Man made that popular. But yeah, like that's just one example of just how much impact Star Wars just as a concept had on the entire industry. But anyway, so how much did Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace make?
Well, the first
this movie came out 16 years after the original, so the people were hungry for more Star Wars.
That's what I was thinking. So it's probably a lot of money. It was 1999. See, I have no idea where to guess here. Because I want to guess high, but I don't want to guess too high. Because way more people go to the movies now than they do used to. But
it is Star Wars, so keep
it is Star Wars
in mind.
Did it? I don't think it reached. It wouldn't have reached $1 billion, would it?
It did.
It did?
It did.
God, speaking of Star Wars,
1.027 bill.
Okay.
So it
I
just
was
barely
gonna
broke
go.
that. But
Yeah, I was gonna say like 900. But I was like, maybe it reached a billion.
we talked last time. No movie makes 900
That's right.
for some reason,
Well, no Marvel movie though.
or DC.
Or oh yeah, DC. Yeah. Maybe 900 is just weird. Maybe they just like maybe they fudge the numbers.
They totally fudge it, or they buy tickets to make it a bill.
They buy their own.
Yeah, people do that.
That's
Honestly, there have been stories of, I think it was, what game was it? There was some game back in 2015, I think, that got 4 million sales, but only 2 million people were active users at any given time. So it was actually found out that whatever company like developed that game actually just straight up bought 2 million copies of it just to say they made it. It's like, why would you do that? That would I
probably
feel
some
like that
like
would
contracting
you have
stuff.
to waste the money.
That's probably like some contract exempt or
If
what's the
unless it
word?
makes 4 million, you're not gonna be
Incentives.
able to make a sequel.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah, like you can't make another one, or like maybe they lose money if it doesn't reach a certain amount of some
and I
kind of
don't
incentive
remember
or
if it was
something
exactly
like
4 mil,
contract.
but there's some situation similar to this happened a couple years ago. Okay.
That's so sad. That's so sad.
Mhm.
It's like, man, it's like when you, it's like when your parents are the only people that buy tickets to your thing. Like,
Mm.
oh
We're
man.
glad you came, but it doesn't, doesn't really mean much. Like,
Is it really revenue if it comes out of your own pocket?
nah. But yeah, I, I am honestly shocked that Phantom Menace actually did break a billion, especially in the 90s when, outside of
Hmm.
Titanic, no
Yeah.
movies really made that much. Some of the Disney animated movies might have break a bill. I think Lion King and Beauty and the Beast might have broken a bill, maybe. But those are the only two, if any. Also, Phantom Menace is bad, so I'm surprised it had
Yeah.
that many
But
repeat viewings.
but then again, like you said, this was the first Star Wars movie in how long? So like
16
it
years.
had to be
Yeah.
exactly. So they had to it was like Star Wars like, what? It's back?
Yeah.
Throw everything. And
Yeah.
that's, I mean that
And
I mean that
granted,
makes
many people at the time probably didn't realize it was bad, which I get. It
yeah.
happens. People nowadays still think
It does
BVS is
happen.
good, so I'll come around.
So, will
Gotta get one.
they?
Gotta get one in every podcast.
Since we're on the topic, no.
But no, they won't.
Oh man,
They've seen it the one time, they're
no,
never gonna see it again. It's just gonna be that epic movie in their
no.
mind. It's gonna be that masterpiece. Oh, it's a great superhero movie. Whatever, it's fine.
It's delusion, man. It
Yeah.
happens.
Although there are people now who I see on Twitter who have seen Phantom Menace countless times, and actually all three of the original trilogy countless times, and love them. Which you can love them ironically. I love them ironically, but to actually say they're some of the best Star Wars movies, you have very stiff competition, right? You
Yeah,
can't say that.
yeah. I don't know. I think the nostalgia factor is the biggest because people can be nostalgia blind so hard to things.
I
And I
loved
guess growing
Phantom Menace when I was a kid. That was my first Star Wars movie actually.
right.
And then when I turned 12, I realized, oh, this isn't very good.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I know. It takes a while, but once you get older, you start really. Well, I haven't, and personally, I haven't seen the prequels. I can't remember the last time I saw the prequels.
um,
So
my my brother is convinced that right on December 18th, the day before we're gonna actually see episode 9, on December 18th, we're gonna watch The Phantom Menace again because it'll be on Disney Plus, so I'll have it. We're gonna watch The Phantom Menace again, just to pregame for for the final of just
because it's
okay,
all going to be connected, obviously.
I'm down for it.
Oh my gosh, Disney Plus comes out in less than 3 weeks.
Yep.
This is awesome.
Hmm. Yeah, I think all of these movies are gonna be on there. Except maybe the ones that are on Netflix might like their contract might have to run out and then come on Disney Plus. But most of these, I know the original six
It'll be
are
fine.
at
Oh
least.
yeah.
Um, yeah. Next, Star Wars Episode 2: The Attack of the Clones.
I'm gonna say it made less than the first
Quite a bit.
one
Did
because
not bring it
yeah,
down.
no, yeah, because people kind of after a while people were like, wow, this was not that great, and most of the movie is just whining and complaining by a certain character, and
I feel so
there's
bad for
really
Hayden
the action.
Christensen. He's actually a good actor, but he's never been in a good movie.
Yeah, he's a chill guy though.
Yeah,
He's trying, but
I actually kind of hope he
we'll
gets a
see.
cameo in Episode 9. Yeah, the Force
Do you
Ghost
think he
thing.
will?
No, but I hope he does. I bet he
He
gets it, but I
won't.
hope he does.
It's like he won't, but if he does,
It'd actually be kind of cool.
it would be interesting. He'd just be like, "No, you're doing it wrong. You're supposed to whine first, and then you chill."
Like it would be so like it would be so cool to have Kylo Ren like at a point where he fully came back to being super evil, be visited by the ghost of Darth Vader as Anakin. That would just be I don't know, I think
That
that would
would be
yeah.
kind of like pre-suit Vader, kind of just like
Like
super.
essentially, at the end of episode 6, the re-edit or the special edition where they
Oh,
weirdly
okay.
put Hayden Christensen's
Yeah,
head onto Sebastian Shaw's body. Like it's just okay.
yeah, that was something. That was something.
uh,
Which yeah, that still doesn't make any sense to
no,
me because it's like
no.
I thought it was a redemption thing, but okay.
It's way more thematically pleasing to have Darth Vader after he killed Palpatine became a Jedi again and
Right?
not revert back
Because
to when he was a Jedi. Like that doesn't
right.
work.
Because like isn't Return of the Jedi, isn't it not talking about Luke, it's talking about Anakin? Isn't that the whole point?
That's at least one idea. Yeah,
Oh, that's what I always thought it was.
I never really thought about that until just now. But like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah,
Really? Okay, that's because that's what
that
I
makes
was
a
that's what
hundred.
I was
Yeah,
told.
that's my new theory.
So
Yep,
like
sure,
that's
let's
how
do it.
that's how I've always thought. So I was like, doesn't that like defeat the purpose of the entire thing?
Yeah,
But
you think?
nah, it's special edition. It's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, how much did Attack
Both.
of the
But
Clones cost?
anyway, I was it 600 million.
Um, 600. Yeah. How much within 600? If you want to guess again.
Okay, 640.
49. Oh, nice.
That was pretty good.
Yeah. Didn't deserve that much. Did not deserve
No,
that. Well,
no,
okay. I will
but
say
it has the Star Wars name brand.
it has the Star Wars name brand. It
That's at least 500.
it does a very good job of tricking you into thinking the last 25 minutes are good.
Yeah, because you're so used to nothing happening that when something
Even
happens,
as a
you think
10-year-old,
it's good.
watching through this movie was a bore until the last 20 minutes.
Hmm.
Like even as a child, I knew that this was not enjoyable. Like that's just the
Interesting.
best word I could think. Like I did not like Obi-Wan just doing nothing for half the movie and then getting beat up by by Jango Fett for no reason, and then everything happening with Anakin and Padme. I did not give a crap.
Hmm.
Like I knew a Star Wars movie needed to have like a big opening action sequence. That chase through the city was a cool concept, but it's not how you start a
Not
Star
cool.
Wars movie.
Start a Star Wars movie with a giant ship flying over some planet, and then random fighting for something,
Yep,
and then
that's.
quickly explain what the fighting is about
Mm,
after the fighting
but
happens,
like even
because
episode,
we
actually
don't
now
care
think
what
about it,
it's
even
about at
episode
first.
1 didn't have a great opening act. Like yes, Obi Wan and Qui Gon fought off some droids, but like it wasn't like a huge battle like the original three. But
Yeah. Or like episode three, you're just thrown right in, like, oh,
yeah,
here we go.
yeah, like it.
like that was good. I was
Mm,
like, okay, we are not waiting. We are going right into this.
the yeah, like everything up until they get to Geonosis and that gladiator scene. From then on, the movie is very good about tricking you into thinking that it's enjoyable. If you like take a step back and actually observe what's happening, you can clearly tell actors just swinging at nothing and then like inserting droids kind of near where the blade was and then get falling over. Like you can clearly tell like the horrid green screen, like just when Padme and Anakin are in that chariot, like that green screen is like maybe some of the worst green screen work I've ever seen in a movie. Like it is laughably bad, like especially in a Star Wars movie. Like come on. And also, I will say that this movie again did revolutionize uh, the use of HD cameras to film movies with, which honestly maybe might have contributed to how to the fact that we noticed the green screen so much. But like HD cameras really were not very much used in cinematic landscape. But then after episode two came out, people started paying more attention to that medium. So it at least has that going for it. Oh, of course, the Count Dooku versus Anakin and Obi-Wan fight is just the worst. Just so bad.
You would dare cut this arm off.
Here you go.
You cut this arm off.
Whoa! Why would you like Pikachu shocking me?
You're so evil.
But like even before that, like the majority of that fight is just Anakin and Dooku swinging their blades around when like the camera's like close up on their face, so you can't even tell what's happening, and like lights are flashing for no reason. Like it is just awful.
That's unfortunate.
Like it's honestly kind of funny that I think the movie I quote just the most is probably a tie between episode one and two. Like those movies have so many bad quotable lines, but they're so applicable to like so mundane things.
They're memes.
So many mundane things that just
There's always a bigger fish. I don't remember what it was, but I quoted that for something, and everyone lost it. I don't remember because I had just seen that clip like recently, and
mm,
I don't. What happened? I don't. We were watching something, and then something got randomly got eaten by something else, and I was like, "Oh, it's a bigger fish scene," and
just
everyone just like cried.
you're just like conditioned to like mean to say it just came out like oh there it is.
I was so proud of myself that day.
like like over the summer I didn't even realize I was quoting episode one that much. But then my brother pointed out, it's like, you've been quoting that a lot. It's like, I haven't seen it in like 6 months at least. Like, okay.
It's with you though. It's stuck with you. Like whether you like it or not, like it's still part of your childhood.
Yeah.
Like prequels are in your soul. You have no choice.
Yeah. Um, One actually good thing I will say about episode two, arguably the only good thing about episode two, the music in that movie, though misplaced many of the time, looking at you, Duel of Fates, randomly when he's on a thing, like especially the droid theme, the Confederate theme, which they've carried over into the Clone Wars series, is actually a very very solid theme. Not as good as Imperial March, but still a very solid theme. So it has that. And just like also the song that plays when Mace Windu starts walking towards Dooku. It's a good song. That's yep, that's the one good thing I have to say about that movie. Literally, like I love it for how bad it is, but I cannot think of another legitimately good thing about that movie. One a little, I think it's a little better. Revenge of the Sith. What did it make?
Um, I remember this was really popular. 'Cause I remember as a kid, this is the first Star Wars movie that I personally bought.
Mm,
But, like I remember this one. I think this one may have, was this one also a billion or was this
not
less?
quite.
Not quite. Okay, so like 870.
848. Still
48.
pretty good.
Okay, it's always in the 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty solid. I will admit, I know it's a prequel movie, but I like this movie. And yes, there are things that are dumb, but like I don't, because like for me, I know it's nostalgia based,
Mm,
but when I think of when someone just says Star Wars, this is the first movie I think of because I've seen this
yeah,
movie more times
honestly.
than any of the other ones.
It,
And this came out right when I started loving Star Wars the way I do now.
yeah. Like when people say Star Wars, I think the space battle at the beginning of episode 3 and the
Oh
Hoth
yeah.
battle. Those are the two things.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I love a lot of the concepts of this movie. They're executed
Hmm.
terribly, but
Yes.
the ideas presented are actually a lot of the times pretty good.
Yeah, because like for me, like the Clone Wars era in general, I think is my favorite part
Hmm.
of Star Wars
Yeah.
history because it's like this is such a great concept and like oh you've got like the whole like Master and Padawan thing is a really cool and just like
Hmm.
how they can do it is amazing and like in the movie yes it's done poorly. The only actual Clone Wars stuff you just skip to the last part
Mm,
which is really annoying, but
whatever.
it's still, but there's still good moments. There are quotable moments. There
Mm,
are a few interactions between Obi-Wan and Anakin that are kind of clever, which Clone
way
Wars
better than
was showed
episode
us.
2. Like there were
Oh yeah,
so many
miles
interactions in
better.
episode 2 where it's just like, remember I saved you from that.
Cringe.
Like, oh, right. Yep, these two are friends. Like, no.
Yeah, no, these guys don't get it. Well, like in episode 3, there's a couple things where it's like, oh yeah, you did this. Oh, we got in a fight, man. Like you like how you're like you're mad at your friend, but you're still best friends, so it doesn't
Uh-huh.
matter if you yell at them. Kind of like friendship. Like it's really good, and like just
Yeah.
how ironic, like how the irony, just like how, and also how casual they are. Like
Mm.
in the whole first act, like they almost die like twice, and they're just like.
Because droids are worthless. They're in no danger at any point.
But like not even that, but like also like like the ship is like potentially gonna crash
Yeah.
into the smack dab
Why
middle of the
don't they
city, and
just
they're
use
just
the
like,
force to hold it in place? Because, everything
I
lays
don't,
the same under the force, but it's
I
fine.
don't, I don't know. It's not like you have the chosen one on board.
I forgot about that stupid prophecy.
Hmm. Prophecy,
Oh,
yeah, not a fan.
no, no, no,
I
no.
don't know, but I mean, yeah, they don't super like. I mean, they do a little bit, but like episode one's the only time they really like shove it down your throat.
Yeah,
They kind of chill in the other movies.
yeah. And then, I mean, he made a big deal. You are the chosen one. But
Yeah,
outside of that, I don't
I'm like,
really.
why can't he just be? I'm like, he doesn't have to be the chosen one. Why can't he just be that dude? Like, like
Yeah,
he's just good at stuff. Like if I get an A on the test, I'm not the chosen one at math. I just study. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. And
Like,
like, I again, the concept of just the way the Jedi are like subtly corrupt is a really good concept. Like the idea,
yes,
this prophecy idea could have worked in a better movie trilogy where like they've been searching for the chosen one for thousands of years, picking off literally anybody who was even slightly force sensitive and trying to for them to be the chosen one. And then this boy who like has more midi chlorians than anyone who's ever existed. Like yes, this is the guy. He will bring balance to the force.
He's
That
that dude.
concept is so interesting. And then by the end of the movie, before before all the like comics and games and other stuff where they had random Jedi popping up in between episode 3 and 4, he actually kind of did bring balance by having two Sith, two Jedi. That's a really solid concept. Just how
Right.
they got from point A to B is pretty bad.
Yeah. It's just, but yeah, like, I don't, I like this movie because I grew up with it. This was the movie like I would pretend to like act out the battle
Yeah,
scenes and like,
yeah,
and it was and like a good from too like you didn't just skip to the end immediately. Although the end was the best part again. Like there were scenes midway through that you were like, oh, this is kind of interesting.
hmm
Oh, like the beginning's actually really good,
yeah.
and then it kind of gets a little
Like
slow. Then it picks up a little, then it gets a little slow, and then he goes evil, and then it's like, oh snap,
the
here
way he
we go.
becomes
Oh
evil
my
is kind
god,
of terrible, but you know what? It's fine.
yeah,
um,
yeah. Like he just casually goes, oh, you killed that guy. Well, not gonna be a
Guess I'm
good guy
evil now.
anymore. Let's go murder some kids. Like
Literally,
like
literally everything that they built up to this point of the Jedi. I don't really trust the Jedi. They won't make me a master. I think the Republic is doing some things. Isn't really doing things how I think they should be doing it. All that was just thrown out the door because, oh no, Padme's sick. I think you can help me help her. I'm evil now. I'm the most evil person ever now. Instantly, just they could have framed that better,
yeah,
but whatever.
yeah, and like throughout the entire time he's being evil, he never once is like, I'm doing it for Padme. Or like, oh, he's just like, I'm bad now.
Yeah,
Deal with it. Like, like he seems very much just like evil because we need a bad guy
yeah,
now.
and of course they do the cliche thing of, oh, guy who turned evil to help the one he loves ended up killing the one he loves. Wow, never seen that before.
Yeah, and like, and see, that doesn't bother me because like the way it happened bothered because I like that concept. I kind of think that's a cool concept. I
Mm,
don't know. I know it might be cliche, but I've always thought that was because all the time movies is like the very thing you try to chop from because you'll see
yeah,
this happens and then oh well I'll try to stop it and by trying to stop something you cause that thing to happen. But like, I
exactly.
think that's an interesting concept. But
Kung
I
Fu
just think
Panda did it
how
once.
like when he did it, yes.
Not even joking. I love that movie.
Panda. Dude, Kung Fu Panda is awesome. I don't even care. Like that movie is amazing. I will watch Kung Fu Panda every day.
Yep.
But no, okay. But no, like it was just like when he did it, he didn't like snap out of it saying like, "Oh my god!"
No,
Like he didn't freak out. Like he just
he's
was like,
still evil.
"Yeah, yeah."
Obi-Wan, you took her from me. Like, you've done that yourself?
I
It's
was like,
like,
I'm like, you just murdered her. And no one made you. You just were like, nah, you don't need to breathe anymore. Like you literally were like, you have lost your breathing. But like, this was 100%
your
on
fault.
you.
You did this.
This is you did this. Owen's like, I was over here chilling with my robe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't make like don't make this on me. This is like I would like if I was over, I'd be like, dude, what are you talking about? Like,
My
I don't
confession, the
know,
Jedi
man.
are
Like, I
evil.
get it.
What does that mean?
The Jedi are evil. You just choked your wife,
They honestly
and like
should.
not even like for like with the Force,
If they had
like the amount of domestic violence that is.
if they had just like upped Obi-Wan's sass factor by like 10%,
Oh my
that last
goodness.
10 minutes of the movie would have been the best comedy ever.
Just absolute trolls.
Mhm. I will say like episode 3 is really the only one of this trilogy that has a beginning, middle, and end. Like,
Mm.
if you really think about
Mm-hmm.
it, like the other two, they just kind of
Start.
go, and then a climax happens. There's no rising action. There's no like conflict. There's no like. I guess it, there- yeah, I can't even really think of when the second act would begin in episode 1 or 2. Honestly, Like it's honestly, it's very, very cut and dry for episode 4. Uh, Once they leave Tatooine, that's end of episode. Or that's the end of Act 1. They're on the ship for a while. They go and have to do stuff in the Death Star. They leave. Climax happens. There you go. 3-act structure. But in episode 1 and 2, there was no leaving the unknown. There was or leaving the known for the unknown. There was no like reason to really do any of these things outside of the plot needs to happen, so I guess you need to go here now. That's really just the entirety of episode 1 and 2. But in episode 3, they actually had a story, which is at least something. So,
Mhm.
good job.
That happened.
Not the best story, but it's you're at least better than those two.
It is a complete story ish.
Yeah, and yeah, like of the 3, it's obviously the best. I think my favorite to watch is still episode 1, just for how weird and bad it is. But that's just my weird, taste for movies. But episode 3 is obviously like the most enjoyable. From like as far as like actually as a movie, it's the most enjoyable. So yeah, moving on to the Clone Wars movie from 2008.
Oh wow. I did not see this coming. Okay, this was animated, so we already know it didn't make much.
Yep.
And as far as like the movie compared to the rest of the show, it was not that good,
It was
in my opinion.
kind of terrible. It's honestly maybe the worst Star
Yeah.
Wars movie. Like, not even joking. It's really bad.
Yeah, I mean, but it was animated. They tried something new. And like at that point, I remember they were like really starting out with that style. And
Yeah.
like as the show goes on, like that animation gets way better. But starting out, it was
Oh yeah.
rough.
Yeah. By season 4 and 5, it hit its stride. But season 1 and 2 was just kind of
It's like, oof.
iffy.
Yeah. So yeah, probably not a lot. Like direct. This wasn't even in theaters, was it?
Me and my brother saw it in theaters. Yeah. It was at least a
Oh, it
limited
was in
time
theaters.
thing.
Okay. Okay, I thought it was a direct to like TV or DVD movie.
All I'm gonna
Okay.
say is that take your low expectations, cut them in half. That's probably what this is.
Oof. So like 100 million?
A little lower.
Dang. I was gonna give it the benefit of the doubt because it said Star Wars on it.
68.3.
Oh, right.
68.3.
That's right. Well, what budget though?
Let's check
Probably
that.
not much at all. Probably like
Paid more than
$25.
Hellboy. So at least got that going for it. That sad movie. Like you can't even just okay.
That movie knew what it was doing.
Mhm.
That's their own fault.
Budget of 8 million. So yeah, it made that back. It's fine.
Oh, see, yo, so they made 8 times as much. They're like, come on. If you think about it, if every movie made 8 times its budget, they'd be doing all right.
Mhm.
You know, if you have a $2 million or $200 million budget, you make 1.6 billion.
Imagine Endgame making 8 times as budget. How much would that be?
First of all, that was like what, 400?
It was at least 350 because
What was the
Endgame and
budget
Infinity
on
War
that?
together was over 600. Oh,
Okay,
actually,
so like
it did
350.
it almost did actually break 8 times. Because 8 times 350 is
Oh,
2,800.
geez.
So yeah, that would be
Oh,
almost.
so yeah.
They got to 2.79.
Okay. So the mark of an awesome return on investment is, we'll say 7 times
Yeah.
your budget.
At least 7 times.
Just to go,
Okay.
at least if you can beat 7 times your budget, even if your budget was crap, great
Mhm.
job.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Profit.
Big
But yeah,
movies that made
this
a lot
movie-
of money. Oh, do you want to say more about Clone Wars?
Oh, I was going to more lean into the show, but I guess we can do that later.
Go for it. Go.
No, it's fine. I mean, no, I mean, like, yeah, the movie was not. It's set up the way it's set up. Everything was kind of nah. But like, because I remember originally thinking, wow, they're adding a new character. This little girl chick,
Yeah.
she's all little, and so she's gonna be like, I can help too, and get beat up by something. I was like, oh, this is gonna be terrible. But as the show goes on, Ahsoka becomes one of my
Yeah.
favorite characters.
Because they kind of
So
had
it's
to make her
like,
good
okay,
because she started off so bad, so they had to at least make you try to like her. She
yeah,
just
but
shows
like,
up.
I
Like
don't.
I always hated that part of the movie where she just exists, and Obi-Wan's like, yeah, she's your Padawan now. It's like, but I'm your Padawan. Like, no, she's your Padawan. Like, that never made sense to me.
Yeah, no, it was just kind of thrown
He's
at
just here
her,
now. You
at
have to
them.
accept it. It's like,
Yeah, and I mean,
okay.
eventually, yeah, it works out, and the role, and like and they real, and like again, like I said earlier, with kind of like episode, there's like their like master student relationship gets really cool
Mm-hmm.
because there's even some episodes where it's like, oh man, she gets disconnected, but oh, because of my training, I was able to, it's like really cool stuff,
Yeah.
So like that's awesome, but like yeah, starting out, not the best
Yeah.
introduction by
Especially
any means to this
since they kind of wrote
universe.
themselves from a corner where like, well, in episode 3, Anakin doesn't have an apprentice. In the
Yeah.
Clone Wars, he does have it. Where'd she go? It's like they had to write it
Yeah, you
out
got to do
somehow.
something with that, which I mean, eventually they kind of made it work because
It's
like, oh,
arguably the best arc of the entire show. So like we're not going to
oh
complain
yeah,
about it, but
that was pretty solid. Yeah, how they did it, because like, and it's almost kind of like, and like the way like she ends up, because you've seen all of it,
oh
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So like, yeah, so it's kind of almost kind of like how like the Jedi are kind of like she doesn't trust them. Like, it's kind of like Anakin almost, except she just leaves. She doesn't
hmm
turn against them. So
yeah,
like I guess that really kind of over Anakin, and that makes sense because Anakin's like, man, this is some mess. What am I in like right now? you know. So like
hmm
I guess like I don't know, and it makes and like I don't know, I want to see like this go up like because I really wish they would make like an episode 3 with that because that Anakin in that show is so much better and like so much more likable.
yeah.
But you can
There
also
are
see him
many,
becoming
many
evil.
points throughout episode or throughout the Clone Wars series that just by them existing almost makes episode 2 and 3 good. like like stuff with Count Dooku actually having influence throughout all 3 movies.
Hmm.
Anakin and Padme's going more in depth about how they feel that how both sides aren't really there's not really a right side to this war. Um, like you see more influence with Palpatine, like how he's really manipulating both sides. Like there's just a lot of stuff uh, throughout the series that like if they were connected to better movies, I would really really love this. But because I know the movie is coming after this as far as in the timeline goes, I know what you're saying right now doesn't actually matter. So
Mm.
because like Count Dooku in that movie is a boss in that show was a boss.
Yes.
Like
Yes, he is. It's great.
When Anakin and Obi Wan are tracking down the whole Sifo Dyas scandal,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
they fight him at the end. Like that's actually a really good fight. Although that brings into
Yeah. And he has
question
like a crazy like side flip.
that brings into the questions of the line from episode 3 where it's like my powers have doubled since we last fought, so your powers have doubled since last Tuesday. It's like I don't.
Yeah, yeah. That's see, and like obviously, in the movies that was meant to be like that, but it's like it kind of, and that's one of the reasons I wish they would like almost redo it because like it'd be so much cooler. To be like now you see like I've been fighting this dude constantly. It's my time to
Yeah.
finally get one,
Mm-hmm.
and like it makes sense that like oh it's just it is much better character development
Oh yeah.
and just better character as a whole as well because
Mm-hmm.
you actually root for him. You see why he's like he is the best, and it's not just like you don't think it's like oh he's destined for it. It's like a nah. He just really you see him outsmart people,
Mm-hmm.
or he's just a better pilot, or he's he just happens to be the best at everything, but doesn't seem like like a cop out. He
Yeah,
just seems like he's that good
exactly.
because he doesn't even believe the chosen one thing. He's like, that's stupid, which I think is great.
Now, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
That's out of me. Did it reach 2?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Because I was like, I know it's like, isn't it like in the top 5?
It's
Like
up
all
there.
time or something like that? Or top 10? Yeah. It was
It might
like,
be top 5 if not adjusted for inflation. Because if adjusted for inflation, apparently Gone with the Wind is like at 4 million somehow.
God tier. Yeah. Which, I mean, isn't that a movie from like way, way back?
That was from like the 40s, and it was released like 4 times throughout just.
So like, yeah, inflation during like probably almost the Great Depression is probably pretty impressive. But I mean,
yeah. And then they track every time it was re-released after that, so yeah, it made a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think it goes Endgame, Avatar, Titanic, Infinity War, Force Awakens.
Okay. So it's like right there.
That broke the 2 bill. That would be in there.
Okay, so it was like what? Like, is it like what 2.2 or something like that?
2.066.
Okay, so not too far over the 2 billion. But still, like, bro.
People were hungry for Star Wars.
Yeah, they were. Okay, did it break the 7 times rule? What was the budget?
The budget was. My guess is had like 150 million budget. At least.
Probably more than that for a Star Wars movie.
Awakens budget. Come on, phone. Come on. It had a budget of 258 million. So.
Yeah, I beat it.
Cool.
Times 7, that's like 1.8 billion.
Yeah, even at.
So yeah.
So I'm getting conflicting things. One says 258, one says 300. If it's 300, it didn't quite do it.
Oof.
Sorry, Force Awakens.
Close,
you're not a good movie.
You're not a good. Sorry, you suck. No, but I mean, if it's that close, and anything that breaks 2 billion, like I don't even care.
Like Avatar and Titanic are not good, but like you have to respect them for breaking 2 billion.
Yeah, you're right, dude. Because I never thought Avatar was great. It looks amazing, but I mean, like Titanic, yeah, I can see that because like that was a really good movie, and like that was it was based off something real.
Yeah.
Which the rest of these movies can't really say. So.
What? Star Wars isn't real? How do we know it's not real? It happened in a galaxy far, far away.
And then again, Marvel multiverse theory. So for all we know, it does happen.
Yeah.
So just that. This could just be one of the 14 million futures in which it didn't matter.
Exactly. In one of the dimensions, in one of those timelines, Thanos snapped and Star Wars happened. I don't know.
Exactly. Who knows? But yeah, too. Yeah, but this movie. Yeah, but this was. Yeah, like you said, like it was a copy and paste. But again, people just wanted a Star Wars movie that wasn't.
Paste. Like it.
Yeah.
Like that. It didn't really feel like a Star Wars movie, but like as far as a movie goes, it was a very solid movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still not like I don't know. Kylo Ren like. Other than the whole like stopping the blaster bolt thing, Kylo Ren never really was like. I never really cared too much for him. I still don't really.
Yeah.
But like, that was a good introduction. Though. Chuck with Spears. I was like, oh, he's like, oh, you West.
We can do this now. That's cool.
like you're not just you're not just some scrub. You've been reading up on your dark side stuff. That's legit right there. He knows what he's doing. He's just
Yeah.
like, oh, it's one of those. Okay.
Next, Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Oh, I know this didn't make nearly as much because although the ending was super awesome,
The ending was worth it.
the beginning, middle, and almost all of the end were not that great. But the
Honestly,
ending
like
was really good.
I felt like everything after Scarif blowing up, or whichever planet that the Death Star first destroyed, uh, everything
I think that's
after
right.
that point I really enjoy, but like the first 40 minutes I don't really care for. So,
No,
and then the
because there's a
climax.
bunch of backstory to stuff
Yeah,
that didn't matter.
yeah, they spend way too much time trying to develop these characters who we know are all gonna die anyway. So I
And
don't.
like it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Like, which I know every movie should try to develop your main characters, but it was just hard because you knew the whole time none of
Mm-hmm.
these people. Like I don't recognize any of these names, so all these people are gonna get
Yep.
wasted. Plus, you knew that going in anyway,
Exactly.
so it's just
Um,
like,
and also during like the final battle, the fact that the team split up and then didn't come back together at any point is a little annoying, especially since in the trailer there's a scene of them all running together with the plans. But it's whatever.
mm,
That was probably like
okay.
one of the
But
reshoots decided
we got,
to fix that. But
yeah. But it's okay because no one cared because Darth Vader was in the hallway,
Darth
and
Vader was
nobody
in
was
the
thinking about
hallway.
that. He was in the hallway. He did walk in that hallway. There were some other things in that hallway.
Those things did not.
But
Those other
yeah, so
things did
like
not leave
that's
that
literally like
hallway.
that they did not. No, literally that is the only thing that like when I think about this movie, outside of the Darth Vader scenes, I don't really remember much at all.
The space battle with like the the ships trying to fly away and then the star destroyers hyperspacing in and destroying them.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do
That
remember
entire
that
space
because it was
battle
like,
was
oh, we
awesome.
got
Maybe the best space battle in all of Star Wars. Like the hammerhead
because
ships like
that
hitting
I
them into the big
yeah.
force field thing, and like you got more.
Mm-hmm.
What is his name? Oh crap! What is his name? The red leader.
Admiral Akbar?
No, he's in episode
Wait,
4. He's
what is
like the
it?
main pilot dude from episode
Oh,
4.
oh gosh, I
I
don't
don't
even
know.
remember.
I knew it yesterday. Yeah. Nope.
Is
Not
this
coming.
Red Leader?
Whatever.
Porkins? I don't
Not Porkins.
know.
We should have got more Porkins.
I was like, Porkins? I don't know.
Is that Dax Rattler? No. Someone else. Whatever. But, that guy. Just like using repurposed footage from episode 4 and this just it made it feel even more, even more like a Star Wars
hmm
scene. Like it just. But that
Yeah.
entire climax I really like. It could have been better with the team come back together at the end of, but not that it really matters. We all knew they were going to die. It didn't really matter how they died. So.
Mhm. I mean, the planet was blowing up while they were on it, so that's pretty much game over.
Yeah. um, and I know the whole like the 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 recreating someone's face didn't like
Oh
making the
yeah.
Tarkin's face. I didn't notice it at first, but after on the second viewing, it was a little more noticeable. But I still think it looks pretty good. And just having more Tarkin in this movie is just he's like one of my
Yeah.
favorite Star Wars characters. So yes,
He's a very good villain. And then like I know people were like, "Oh, the Leia is like, oh, it's disrespectful to Carrie Fisher." I'm like, is it? Like,
I don't.
I mean, but, like we're not dissing what you. I don't know.
It's a character. We're not. It, I I don't know. It's one. I don't know exactly how to feel about it in this one scenario. I think it's fine because uh, no, I mean it's fine. I can't exactly put into words why it's fine. but it's
Well,
fine.
my thing is, I think she would want us to
Exactly.
because like she loves Star Wars.
Mm.
That's her thing.
Yeah,
So like, I don't think.
yeah, she wouldn't have. It. This is a character that she so happened to play. I don't think she would be mad if other people played her, or if they re-rendered her face onto, like, I don't think she would have been okay with it. They would have rendered Leia's face like that regardless of if she was alive or not anyway, to make her look like Leia
Right.
from the first movie. Yeah, like same with how I personally would have been fine if they just kind of kept doing Stan Lee cameos from here on out. Just, he didn't have to speak, just have
Mm.
him in the movie because he would let it. That's what he would
He
do.
would. I'm telling you though. I know this might be. Some people might see this bad, but if they had Deadpool and just put him with a fake mustache and sunglasses, I
Uh,
swear to God, that would be the greatest thing.
yeah, it kind of would be. I
And like no one would say a
Yeah,
word. It would be amazing.
I was actually
I
thinking.
would
We'll get
pay.
about Star Wars in a second, but actually, I was thinking the other night how I feel it would have been perfect for old man Steve to essentially be Stan Lee. That's why he's been able to
Interesting.
be in all these different movies throughout the time period, because he's just been around this whole time.
Hmm. I guess you could have seen that. Okay, yeah. What was his cameo in Endgame? I don't remember.
Um,
Oh no, he was the in the seven.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Now I remember. I was like, yeah, I don't remember. Yeah. Then
It was like
in
I kind
Infinity
of
War,
get
he was the
why
bus
they did it.
driver.
Like, it for some fans or some people in the audience, they might not be able to understand. Oh, this guy is Steve Rogers. Like, there are people walking out of that theater confused. Like, why did Stan Lee have the shield? Like, what? But
Yeah,
yeah.
that would have messed with me
So I
up
know
too.
why they did that, but still would have been cool and just tied everything together, because especially since Stan Lee isn't going to have a cameo after this point, it would have been cool to be like, this is his send off. Like, after this point,
Yeah.
whatever. But whatever. Anyway, Rogue One made
Yeah.
1.1
Back to
billion
Star Wars.
domestic.
So. Billion? Really?
Yeah, don't know
Really?
why, but it made that much money. I mean, Star Wars
Made
was.
$1 billion?
I mean, Star Wars had just come back. People have been wanting this kind of
But Rogue
movie.
One?
People
Like
have been
you
wanting
knew
this
Rogue One wasn't
movie
going to be a real.
forever, like ever since
It's because
Episode
they
Four.
put Darth Vader. It's because they put Darth Vader in the trailer. That's why.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
that's
Darth
most
Vader
of it.
did show up at the
That's
end.
most of it. Yeah.
I tell you, most people were just like, "Bro, you got to see the ending." They're like,
Mm,
"What? Okay, now I got to see this movie." And they're like, "I don't get the whole point." And it's like, "Oh, I
okay.
get it now. Yeah, nah, I see why I was here."
It's only like a
The junk
minute
was
long, but
so
it's a
great,
good minute.
but it's
The
such a
best
good.
minute, arguably the best minute in all of Star Wars.
I know that's like a lot. Like that alone is the reason this movie was like, because I've always wanted that for like not just Darth Vader, but just like any like boss character.
Yeah.
You just want him to just run through some scrubs. Like you just said bad guys. Like that's just
Mm,
like what you want to see. It's just so satisfying.
yeah.
It's like I have to prove why I'm the main villain, don't I? Fine.
Yeah, just
Oh,
anytime a major villain can display that they are this powerful, they are in control at every moment. Like, especially in Star Wars, like when Sidious took out Maul and his brother, like that. Just
mm-hmm.
that's so
The
good.
fan service is real. Cause like, and it's always the same. They always just casually walk
Come
up,
in.
and it's like,
We doing this? Yeah. Okay.
we gotta
Done.
do this. Like, I guess we gotta do this, and then it gets so bad. It's just, like, I have a stride to be that amazing one day. I just
Mm.
walk in like, you're gonna make me do this, aren't you?
Like,
Just,
and Darth
mm,
Vader already has
so,
arguably the best cinematic introduction of all time. Like, stormtroopers go in, destroy all those people,
mm-hmm.
and then Darth Vader just menacingly walks into the corridor, looks around at all the carnage, and just like, okay, and keeps walking. It's like that is so good. Like I
Just
love
casual, like, good.
oh
You killed them all this time. Or just like I don't just like seeing or like or in like Empire where like they're just like on closet, they're just going there, and it's like, oh my god, Darth Vader's just there. And he shoots
yep
he immediately shoots
nope
at him, and Darth Vader's like, I'll take
no
that. Like just casually across the room. Just like so like not only do I block it with my hand because yeah, I can do that.
sure why not
Like I'm just yeah, like fine. Like you know what? Who cares? Did he use the Force to lock the bullets? Is his suit bulletproof?
who
Sure, doesn't
cares
even matter. He's there. You don't have a gun anymore anyway. It doesn't matter.
oh that movie is so good so good
So sad. It's just I just like how casual it is. It's just
mm.
like just sitting here, just oh my god, just Kimmy, so great.
And I just love just how quickly Han reacts to it. Oh, crap, Darth Vader. Like, nope. just how quickly that scene
Right?
escalates to like, they get to Cloud City and you think everything is fine, and then it just goes to a million just instantly. It's just, oh, it's so good.
Yeah, because like there's literally no indication anything's wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and literally the worst possible reality is the reality. He's just it's just done so well.
I wonder how long he was sitting in that
I
room
love Star Wars.
before the gang showed up.
Probably. He's like, what do you guys think? Should I just rush him? What do I do? I'll just take his gun. That'll be so cool. It was just like because nothing was going on the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
They're just talking. Lando's flirting with Leia, all this
Yep.
stuff. We're just casual. The music's lighthearted, everything, and then you open the door, and then oh my
Music is
god,
sinister. Like, oh, I'm here now. I was like, oh,
oh
okay.
yeah. It's just the look on Harrison Ford's face. He's just like genuinely like, why? You shouldn't be here. That's
Mm-hmm.
not right.
I
Oh,
honestly wouldn't be surprised if that were another scene where they didn't tell the cast that was going to happen. So they got like a legit reaction of, oh crap,
that
it's
would
Darth
have been
Vader.
right. They're like, yeah, we're just gonna go to dinner. Okay, yeah. They had like different lines for the dinner scene and
Yeah.
stuff, and they come in. What? That would be so cool. You get like their honest reactions.
Mm.
That would be so great.
Next, Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. The movie that
Okay.
everyone unanimously has an opinion on. We can't agree on what
Yeah,
that
this thing
opinion
is
is.
crazy.
All of us have an opinion on this movie.
I know. Some people think it's the greatest movie. People think it is ruined Star Wars. Some people think it's not a Star Wars movie. I mean, there's
Some people think it's worse than
literally
Episode
every
2.
opinion known to
Those
man.
people are idiots. I'm just not even going to argue with
Oh,
that. They are wrong.
y'all. Oh my y'all. Let's be human about this.
You can think it's
But
bad. It's fine. It's fine that you think this, but don't say it's the worst Star Wars movie. That's just
I feel like
that's just,
yeah,
you're
it's just
exaggerating.
incorrect. Yeah, I know made a lot, not as much as the first one in this trilogy, but probably like 1.5 billion. Is that too much?
1.3. So
1.3. Okay. Yeah, because I
again,
knew it was gonna make because it's Star Wars and like I remember because this one originally was hyped up.
yeah.
Like people were gonna come see it. And the only reason I don't think it made 2 billion was because of the controversial way it went.
Hmm.
So I think that was a big part of it. But
Yeah.
I think the fans weren't so big on their own theories that this would have gone way better.
Yeah. That's just fans feeling entitled to feel like what their theory has to be right, and if their theory isn't right, it's a bad movie. It's like that's
Mhm.
that,
Such
that
a terrible concept.
yeah. It's just so lame. If,
Right, and it's like
if
you
can
ruin it
predict
for
the
yourself.
movie, what's the point? You go in already knowing how it's
Well,
gonna end. Why bother even seeing it?
well, I mean, I don't know. I think it depends on how, because like I think everyone knew Avengers was gonna have time travel and that they were gonna end it at the end. But then again, how they did it was important.
True, true.
But I guess in this movie, no one knew like, oh, how, who is Snoke? I guess people were asking questions that they got no answer to. I think that's why people are mad because
But
everyone's like, oh, Snoke is this person, that person. And like, no, it doesn't really matter. But
mm,
like
they
to them, it matters because
the
they want to
way
be
J.J.
right.
Abrams set it up, and J.J. Abrams loves doing this, where he sets up stuff for a different person to then finish it. Like, what's he? I think he made like the first couple of seasons of Lost, and had all these. I think he's Lost, and then made all these like questions and like all these like all these mysteries happen. Then he left the show, and then some other guy had to finish it, and it was he didn't.
So
The other guy
bad.
didn't know what to do with it because JJ didn't leave any notes because he didn't know what he was gonna do. So
He's like, I just wrote you into a hole and then
yeah,
left before I had to jump
like
in.
Snoke did not need to be in episode 7. He could be mentioned by name, that's fine. Like the Emperor was in episode 4, but him actually being in episode 7 honestly might be the biggest problem with that with the entire trilogy so far. Because like we already see him, we already know like what he is, and you know he looks the way he looks could raise a lot of raise a lot of questions. So just that and J.J. Abrams, he didn't know what that was gonna be. He didn't know like he had no idea that that Snoke is gonna be like a big thing that people are gonna have theories over like who he is. I don't know who he is, so why should I care? Like just he just loves doing stuff like that. But yeah, turned out it didn't matter, and that's fine.
And then what
Solo,
Solo? Is that the last one?
Solo, a Star Wars movie.
He's like, you can say a Star Wars movie all you want. It doesn't make me more enticed to go see it. I
Have
still
you
have
seen
not.
it?
I've seen the first 20 minutes of that movie,
It's
and then we stopped.
fine.
I
It's
just
like a
wasn't
6.
interested.
It's fine. I
I'm just not interested.
I just I there
Like,
it's one of those questions that it's one of those movies that answers questions you didn't know you had nor should have been answered in the first place. Like there's a lot of things about this movie that like random references to previous movies that like didn't need to be there, and like the way Han and Chewie met doesn't really make sense.
no, it
There are
doesn't.
characters in it that like feel like they should be important for a grander story that's never going to be told. Darth Maul randomly shows up for some reason, like at the end. It just, and then the way Han gets his blaster, it's like I know it was never like it doesn't there doesn't have to be backstory to his blaster, but the way he got his blaster was the worst possible way that he could have gotten it. It was just so just it was a you could tell this movie went through a lot of changes as it went, which is crazy because they had Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who you know made the best movie ever, Into the Spider Verse, a couple of months later. They had them
They
doing it. They're
probably.
like, "Nah, we don't like you anymore. We're gonna get someone else to do it." And like Ron Howard, he's fine, but he essentially had to just finish a movie that was only half finished, and it's one kind of like Justice League. You can clearly tell which director.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of a mess. It's a kind of enjoyable mess, but it's a mess.
They tried. Like, they tried. But I mean,
They did the
again,
best they could.
I think a lot of people kind of made up their mind about this movie before. I made my mind about this movie before I saw it, and
I'd
then
rather see
I tried
Deadpool.
to watch it.
It just
Yeah,
came out at a
oh,
bad time.
a million times, yes. Like, and there's nothing about this movie that made me want because, like, personally, I was never a huge Han Solo fan anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Not knocking, like, not saying he's a bad character, just it wasn't the first, second, or third character I cared about.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like, eh. So, like, a movie about his origin, which I kind of can guess just based on what I know about Star Wars anyway, which is pretty much exactly how the movie
Mm-hmm.
goes.
And then even
So it's
really
like,
like the movie doesn't really end where you think it should based on how he is in episode 4. So yeah, it
It
doesn't do
doesn't
anything.
answer the questions you did have, but it does answer a bunch of questions you didn't have.
Yeah.
So that's not helpful.
Um,
But it is a Star Wars movie, so it made 600 million.
nope.
Oof, too low?
Yeah, too high.
Too high? Okay, no, that sounds all right. 400.
392.
Oof.
Yeah. Originally, box office predictions, they pegged this movie as making 400 million opening weekend.
Ooh.
That didn't happen.
Ooh. You wanted more than what you made entirely opening weekend.
And like these
You
were predictions
grievously
based on
miscalculated.
like some, pre-ticket sales, just based on the hype around Star Wars as a whole. It just it came out the wrong month. It came out after the wrong movie. If it had come out after Force Awakens, or even like after Rogue One before Last Jedi, it would have done better. But because Last Jedi was
But
so
just
divisive and it came out only 6 months after that, people were just
mhm.
tired of Star Wars for
Some
some
people
reason.
were still banning Star Wars,
Yeah,
or they just didn't. I don't know, or like me, they just weren't, Han Solo is. I don't know, because some people really like Han Solo. I just never really cared for him.
yeah. So yeah, it didn't. I think it ended up having like over $200 million budget. So like it
Oof, that did not
maybe
reach the
broke even.
time seven.
It maybe like after DVD sales, it probably made a little bit of profit, but it didn't do nearly as good as they were hoping.
Mm, don't think it reached the what 7 times the
Not even
budget
close.
profit. Nah, I don't. I don't think they barely reached the 1 times.
Yeah. Okay.
That's rough.
Now, time to move on to Nerd Clash. Sticking with the theme here, we'll be doing Han Solo versus Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Now, I told you
Uh,
before, I've never actually seen Indiana Jones movies, so this will be more, you know, you arguing that point. But
okay.
um, so obviously, they both have a gun. I feel a blaster is better, but Indiana
Yes,
Jones has that whip, which I think could maybe help
that
level
could
the playing
help.
field a little.
And I will say from Indiana Jones, the whip is as long as it needs to be,
Perfect.
depending on the context, if that helps.
Perfect.
Because
Mm,
it's very much exaggerated in some points in the movie because sometimes it's just long enough to go
uh,
over some random chasm. So there's
so like they
that.
could be standing like a football field away, and he can still smash.
It is however long the whip needs to be for Indiana Jones to make it
Yeah.
happen. So there's that.
Now,
Other than
obviously,
that,
like they're both well known for shooting first.
this is true.
Indiana Jones shooting that guy
Well,
with the
more
sword,
Han
Han
Solo than
Solo.
Warfare Shoot.
I mean, he
Yeah,
shot the guy
then
with the swords. Um,
yeah, that was amazing. Just I'm tired of shooting this scene.
he was
Bang.
apparently like had like a bad cold during that scene, but not bad enough where they wouldn't let him not film that day. So
Mhm.
he just improvised that like, no, just get out of here. Just,
So casual.
like Captain Ends.
I mean, that's what I mean. I would do that too if I had the choice.
Yeah, I'm the star of
Like, I
this
don't feel
movie. I
like
can't say no.
that was basically the equivalent of like running from a Pokemon. But with, you're just like, I just don't have the energy for
Yeah.
this. I don't want to waste my time.
Mm. Um,
Oh man. Let me see. What else can
as
Indiana
far
Jones
as
do?
like as their shooting skills go, do you know
I
of any
mean,
reason why Indiana Jones would be better than Han Solo? Because Han Solo is known as one of the best sharpshooters in the galaxy.
right. Well, Indiana Jones isn't, as far as I can remember, I don't know if Indiana Jones, it's been a while since I've seen all the movies, but I don't
Mm.
think he's super known as like an amazing shot. But I mean, I think it could be assumed he's pretty good, but I don't. He's not like known throughout the world
He's
as a
more
marksman
like
or
kind
anything.
of close to mid range, like punching Nazis, whipping people, just kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah, and like his thing, yeah, his like combat's pretty solid,
Mm,
but not so much. His marksmanship, I don't think is like world renowned or anything.
okay. And like Han Solo is, can apparently punch so hard that he can like knock out a stormtrooper even though he's wearing a helmet. Because
Yeah,
stormtroopers are
which
just so pathetic in episode
stormtroopers
6. Just so bad.
basically at that point they're just giving up.
Yeah. I'm just like I said, I haven't seen Indiana Jones, but like I just can't see a reason. Even if they both had like a quick draw, I don't see how like Han Solo's blaster. I think might.
Yeah, no, because one you would assume. I mean, I guess a blaster. You don't have to really reload a blaster. I guess they just overheat.
Yeah, if we go by
At least
Battlefront,
based on
Battlefront.
Battlefront game. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was thinking too. Like, it was my
Actually,
Battlefront
his
knowledge.
blaster does have ammo. Yeah, his does have ammo.
Oh, that's
It's a
right.
triple shot one. Yeah.
It's a second. Yeah. Yeah, the Indiana Jones just has like a revolver, so
Mm,
in 6 shots. But
I'm pretty sure Han Solo has
no.
more than. I think
But
he
if he
has.
brings the Ark of the Covenant with
If
him,
he does, yes.
then we have a totally different thing. No,
I just
no.
imagine I just imagine like this ridiculous fight where like um it gets like I don't know, they both somehow get their guns disarmed, so they're brawling and like they fall down into where the Ark of the Covenant is, and Indiana Jones like opens it, and Han Solo is like about to be melted, and the Millennium Falcon just comes down and like crushes the Ark or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shooting
Uh,
the. You're like, what? That would be so sick.
mm, yeah, I think
Oh
Han Solo
man.
has this one. Just if for no other reason than just the
Yeah, same.
background of just kind of the fact that Han Solo has to deal with like bounty hunters and scoundrels and like space stuff, whereas Indiana Jones
Various
is a college
monsters
professor
and
who has a side job as an archaeologist. So like it just, I think Han Solo just by experience sake kind of takes it.
it's pretty chill.
Mm.
I wonder if there's any like Indiana Jones fight scenes I can look up. I don't know.
Like I know there are quite a couple with like them, like from what I've seen at least, there are some like them like on tanks and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Or he'll be like climbing on like a plane. So yeah, there's a bunch of these. They're really interesting. But yeah, he's not like super Indiana Jones. I didn't know for the longest time that they were both Harrison Ford. Like I did not realize for the longest time that was the same
Uh,
person. And then like somebody, I think my brother pointed it out to me one day, and then I was like,
you're
"What?"
right.
And I watched Indiana Jones again, and I was like, "That's Han Solo." Oh man.
Hmm.
Oh, the Arab swordsman scene. Oh my god.
Fun fact:
Yo,
apparently, both Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, they both didn't have any faith at all in their respective franchises, so they both uh, pitched in to help fund the other one in exchange for royalties for any future movies that came out after that point, because they both just thought they would make one movie. It's like
hmm
because I'm pretty sure both Raiders and A New Hope were just Indiana Jones and Star Wars at the time. And because of that, apparently, um,
they're both rich.
I mean, yes, they're both rich, but Spielberg, I think, has from royalties of Star Wars stuff has gained over another $600 million.
Sounds about right. I mean, it's not
Like
like
that was
Star Wars is the most popular
oh
movie series of all time or anything.
yeah, that was a that was a good deal on his part.
Yeah, it's like those deals you hear about, like, oh yeah, when it first came out, he was offered either $1 million or 1% of like Apple, and they choose Apple, and now they have like $1 billion or
Yep.
something. I'm just like, bro, you could have like that could have been so bad for you. Like,
Yeah, like
always take the 1%. You never know.
yeah, like not to knock Indiana Jones or anything, but I think Spielberg got the better end of that deal, just a
Probably
little.
because he already had his own stuff. Plus, he's on everything else. Isn't
Yeah,
he like Jaws and a bunch of other stuff?
yeah. Jaws, E.T.,
So
Ready
yeah,
Player
he yeah
One,
he,
which is
he
kind of bad.
oh
But
yeah,
see Jurassic Park. I think he
but still
was he.
popular.
I think he was Jurassic Park one and two at
Yeah,
least.
I'm pretty sure.
Mm.
So yeah, those are he's doing pretty
Yeah,
solid.
yeah,
He did all right. He broke even.
yeah. He broke even. Yeah, I have a feeling he didn't invest quite 600 million into the original Star Wars.
No,
No, no. Mark Hamill
no.
constantly will refer to A New Hope as the the biggest low budget movie ever made because they cut so many quarters making that movie. Like they like reused
Hmm.
scene, like reused props from just random stuff they had around the office that day. Reused props from Doctor Who stuff. Like they just almost none of that was like made for the movie. It was almost all uh, repurposed stuff
It
from
was just so cheap and
yeah.
thrown together
Also,
that
fun
it turned
fact:
out to be amazing.
the the reason Star Wars is as big as it is now is almost entirely due to the editor. The original cut of the movie was like was I think it like 3 hours long. Had a lot more just unnecessary expository scenes. Had a
Hmm.
lot of scenes that there are in the movie now, um, but are in a different order. Uh, and like they didn't really make sense in the order they're in. Like um, apparently in the original cut, when C-3PO and R2 walk across the line of fire in the beginning, as soon as they enter the door, C-3PO falls over, and that's when he's like caught in the wires. When in the movie we got, he's in the Millennium Falcon at that point, which is kind of makes more sense. And there are
Yeah.
apparently like three cut scenes of people like running over and buckling up. Like we don't need to see that every single time. uh, and yeah, the opening was way longer because there was a lot more of like of introducing Luke and like other random people from on Tatooine who didn't matter. So yeah, essentially everything that became from Star Wars is owed almost entirely to that one editor who took George Lucas's vision and was like, I'm gonna make it better, and good job.
It's like, hold on, I got this. There will always be more.
So, is there anything else from this week you wanna bring up or talk about?
As far as this week goes, I think we're about set. I'm kind of disappointed because, like, I don't. Have you seen Joker yet? Are you going to see Joker at
I'm
all?
not gonna see Joker in theaters. I don't care. You seen it?
Everyone's not. No, everyone's told me they're like it's so interesting, but so depressing, and I won't watch it again. And I'm like that for some reason that makes me feel like I want to watch it, but I'm like no.
I'm gonna watch it
But
eventually, but not in
I
theaters.
don't know if I will. I'm just not. I don't know. I'm not really. It doesn't seem like a movie I would like.
No, no.
I don't. I don't want to watch a movie and like I don't like I don't like sad movies already, but a movie like not even like if it's like a historical sad movie like Pearl
Mm,
Harbor or like Saving Private
yeah,
Ryan, it's like
Pearl Harbor had
okay,
other.
I gotta
There are other problems than just that for Pearl Harbor, but
Well, digressing, but anyway, but like but if it's like a movie that like it's gonna get emotional or it's gonna get real, like that's one thing. But this movie, I feel like it's just depressing, just to be depressing, and I'm like, I don't think I'm there for that.
Yeah, I have just a lot of issues with just everything they presented so far, just with them trying to make Joker more sympathetic. Them apparently like a. Do you care if I've seen like some spoilers of it? Do you care if I spoil it for you?
Mhm. I don't care.
Like apparently there's at the very end of the movie, it's revealed that Joker is in Arkham Asylum, like telling the movie story to some psychiatrist. So like it's possible that none of this actually happened, but like that doesn't actually matter because the outcome is still the same. The outcome is still, oh look, Joker's crazy. It's like it doesn't matter.
It doesn't change anything.
Yeah, just uh, I was talking to my brother like, do you have any interest in seeing the Joker at all? He's like, not really. And then my mom overheard us talking about it. He's like, I don't want you seeing that movie. It's like, what? What do you mean? Like, I don't like. You don't need that kind of stuff in your head. And I literally busted out laughing. It's like, what do you what do you mean? I'm like, it's a movie. I'm used. I'm like, I'm very good about discerning movie, reality, video game,
Yes.
reality. Like, I'm not a psycho. I'm fine.
It's like also I'm grown. Like
I
I
see whatever
got
movie I want.
this.
I'm
Thank
22 years
you.
old. I can see an R-rated movie.
Right? Like I got this, mom. Thank you, but I got this.
Oh, and also, of course, uh, Bruce Wayne's in this movie, so the obligatory his parents die again.
Is he a kid or is he a
He's 10. He's 10 years
oh
old.
of
His
course.
parents die again during this movie. You don't need to do that.
But we want to make sure that one person on Earth who doesn't know Batman's origin story gets
But
filled
Batman
in.
doesn't matter because this
How
Joker is
dare
like
you say
30
that?
years older than he is.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. Why do you even have Batman other than just to say we have Batman?
I don't. Whatever. Yeah, I have no interest in seeing this movie. You could. There are ways you could do a Joker movie well. I just don't feel like this is it. It feels too pretentious. It feels way too pretentious for being a being a movie based on a comic book.
Yeah.
Just, like the most epic scene from the movie is him. You've probably seen of him like dancing down those stairs and like, no, that's not
There's so
Joker. What
many
are you
memes.
doing?
There's so many memes with it, like that, and like the Tobey Maguire from
Yeah.
Spider-Man 3 just doing the like
Hmm.
the memes are real. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that movie definitely broke the seven times rule because it had a budget of 50 mil and it's just crossed 700 mil. So
Wow. So yeah,
good job, I guess.
they're good. They're going to 14. Dang.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're gonna be wait, only 50 million? That low
Yeah,
budget?
yeah.
Wow.
I
Must
mean,
be
most
like no
R-rated
effects
movies
or
don't have a
anything.
huge budget because they're R-rated. They can't be shown to everybody. There aren't in every single theater, so they're not guaranteed a huge return on investment. Like even Deadpool had like a 70 mil budget or something pretty low like that for a superhero movie. So,
Oh, I didn't think about that.
mhm. But yeah, I'll probably see it eventually, but I'm not don't really care to see it in theaters.
I don't say I don't really care at all. The only I'd probably only go see it if my friends are going and I'd like either be home by yourself or watch it with them. So
Even
there's
then, I
that.
don't
But
know.
I hope that won't happen either. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. And with that, we'll see you all next time.
Take care.